And that Stone Cherry with Like I Roll. Great song there. And guess what? We have on the phone with us one of the members of Blackstone Cherry. Now, for those of you who don't know, Blackstone Cherry is a band that is actually Kentucky born and raised. They're actually from the Edmonton, Glasgow area. I actually have some close ties to the Kentucky Headhunters. And we're very excited to be talking with Ben Wells, the guitarist from Blackstone Cherry this evening. Hey, Ben, thanks for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Thank you, guys.
All right, so I want to talk about several things here this evening because you guys are working on a new studio album. You just signed with a new record label. Got a lot of interesting things going on. I want to get started though for those of our listeners who don't really aren't really familiar with Blackstone Cherry. Just talk a little bit how your band actually got started back in 2001. Is that right?
Yeah, we started in the summer of 2001. We all just kind of grew up together, went to school together, and we all just shared the same love and ambition to play music. So we just kind of dedicated our lives at a really young age to each other and to playing music, and we've never stopped.
That's great. And you guys got started. I'm sure the Headhunters were a big influence in your life because John Fred Young, your drummer, his father and uncle were both in the Headhunters. So talk a little bit about how the Headhunters really influenced you and helped you all out. You all even used the same practice house.
Yeah, they were obviously an influence because it's family, and we kind of took over their practice house that they grew up practicing in. So it's just kind of a family lineage type thing, and they were able to help us and give us some advice, but they also let us, do our own thing as well. They let us make our own mistakes, and they definitely, were an influence on us because they came from the same area. So I think that's the biggest part of where the influence came from, is to see that they did it, and we were just kind of following along, and another band from a small town.
So was there a point when the Headhunters said, "Okay, here's the practice house, you guys, it's yours," or was it more of just a progressive thing? It's like, it's expected. You guys go in, and that's your place. In the early days, they were fine with us rehearsing there. Of course, John Fred's dad and his uncle are the ones that own it, so they were obviously fine with it because it was their son's band. But we basically share it. They still use it to this day, so it's kind of like a joint thing. But it's a sacred place for sure. And I'm sure there's a good vibe in there too. So other than the Headhunters, what are some of your all's main influences? Because you guys have a very, very unique sound, and you can tell just listening to a lot of your music that you are heavily influenced by the blues, by country. I mean, obviously the country because you're a Kentucky band. What are some of your major influences and stuff that individually and as a band got you all saying, "Hey, I want to do this, and I want to pull these elements together," and got you saying, "Hey, I want to play music for a living"?
My biggest influence is Elvis. I'm an Elvis fanatic, and he was the one that made me want to get into music at an extremely young age. I grew up doing impersonations and things like that, and everybody has different individual influences that might not be, exactly the kind of sound that we are. Obviously, we don't sound like Elvis, But our collective influences obviously range from rock, like you said, country, blues, bluegrass, gospel, Motown, R&B. I mean, we literally listen to every single form of music because it's all good stuff. So for us, we just kind of took what we liked. The southern part of us is just natural. We didn't try to sound southern. That's just the way we are. We just knew we wanted to be a high-intensity rock band. But we take pieces of blues, we take pieces of country, and we kind of just throw it all in there and kind of made up our own sound, I guess.
Right. You guys definitely, I've said this before, you have a really unique sound. Now, you say you pull all of these elements together, but is there any, do you like putting a label on it? Some people I've seen like to say you guys are Southern rock. Other people say you're hard rock. Other people say you're sort of metal, Southern metal. Do you really like to put a label on it, or do you just like to say, hey, look, it's the music, it is what it is, we just play it, it's just natural?
Yeah, we've never really labeled ourselves because, we didn't want to just be stuck in that, because there's songs on each album that are super different from
from the next one. So, 1 minute we might want to play reggae, 1 minute we might want to play blues, and 1 minute we might want to play country, or folk. So for us, it's just about, we're obviously a rock band, and that's where our roots are grounded in. But we also go way beyond that, and, if people want to call us Southern or metal or whatever, that's obviously awesome because we are those things, but we're not just those things.
Right, and there's one song off your most recent album, Magic Mountain, Hollywood on Kentucky. It's a really, you can tell the country influence in that. There's one on the third album, Between the Devil and the Deep Blue Sea, that I really like. It's called All I'm Dreaming Of. And that one you really pulled a lot of bluegrass, sounded like some mandolin and stuff in there. Right. I mean, is that something you all like doing, is incorporating a lot of that bluegrass roots and country stuff into your music?
Absolutely, like I was saying, those are part of our influences. So anytime we can kind of showcase that, show a different side of the band, we try to do that on each album, just to show that, we have those influences and we have those roots, and it's good to showcase that.
All right, well, I want to switch gears here a little bit and get into the new album, because you all are currently working, 2014 you released Magic Mountain, which is a great album. And then you all are now working on your fifth studio album, and interestingly enough, you guys are actually recording it in Kentucky, right?
We are. We're in the studio right now. So I'll have to jump back in there in a minute, but we're literally recording the album as we speak in Kentucky, in our hometown where we recorded our first album. And it's just really awesome to come back here and record again and kind of feel those old vibes, because we all still live here. So it just makes sense, why spend the money to go out to California or even to go to Nashville like we have in the past and record when we have a great studio right here in our backyard and a brilliant engineer. So it feels really good. We're kind of getting some of that old mojo we had on the first album, and I can't wait for it to come out. It's going to come out early next year, and we're just super excited about it. Everything's coming along really great.
So musically speaking, is it sort of a return to the roots of the first album? Is it musically similar to that album or to any other album that you've put out so far?
Definitely a return to roots, so to speak, meaning that it's very raw and it's heavy and it's organic. But there's also pieces of each album sprinkled in there. There's a little bit of the second album, a little bit of the third, fourth. But it's definitely coming back to this studio is definitely going back to kind of the mentality of where we were when we recorded our first album.
That's great. Well, I'll let you go here in just a little bit because I know you're busy. You got to get back in there and record that music. But I want to talk just really quickly. You guys recently signed with a new record label too. Is that right?
We did. Mascot Label Group. They're an awesome label because they're an eclectic label, meaning that they have artists and genres. They go from Black Label Society to Joe Bonamassa. So it's really great for us to kind of fit in there, and the people that run it are really great. They got some great ideas. So it's a fresh new start for us. They got a great team in Europe and in America. So, all good things. We're very excited about it.
All right. Well, Blackstone Cherry, they've got the new studio coming out next, new studio album coming out next spring. They've got, you guys also have a live DVD coming out soon, correct?
Yeah, it comes out October 30th, the end of this month. Super pumped about that, too. It's our first ever live DVD. It was filmed last year to the day in Birmingham, England, on our first arena headlining tour, and it was just an unbelievable night. And we captured it on DVD, man, so we wanted to release it. So we're very excited about that. October 30th comes out.
I feel like you guys have, I've seen you guys live before. You put on a really powerful performance, and a lot of times your live performances are even better than the studio because of the energy that you guys bring, and I'm really excited about that.
Thank you. And that's kind of capture that energy, on video for all of our fans to see. So we're pumped to get it out there to the public.
All right, well, thanks, Ben. It's Ben Wells, guitarist from Blackstone Cherry. It's been nice chatting with you. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you guys very much. I appreciate it.
All right, you have a good one. That's Blackstone Cherry, and we're going to lead you out here with another one of theirs. Here's Blind Man on WMMG.